live! Hello, puppies! And of course, as always, welcome back to another episode of the Isle of Series. Somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to put like editing effects in the stream. That look like little rainbows coming off the hands. But for now, if everybody can just use their imagination, that'd be perfect. Why?
Your audio is super staticky right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's because you're on that computer.
I don't think that's it. I honestly, I don't think that's the problem. If they're static, I'm very sorry. There's always something audibly wrong at the beginning of every show. I don't know why. It's my curse. It's my curse.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so thank you for everybody who is already here, and for tonight's show, which is as I'm sure everybody could guess, Superman related. I would like to introduce the Superman himself, Mr. SuperRus. I'm pointing the right way, I feel like. Yes, I am. Hi.
Hey guys, what's up?
Not much. How about you?
Not much here.
Sorry about the slightly choppy audio. I was telling everybody to imagine little sparkles coming off my fingertips. I need to figure out some way to get little sparkles to come off my fingertips while doing StreamYard.
Just get Cade to like stand above you and sprinkle stuff down. Like
sprinkle glitter, yes. Oh, we would never get rid of the glitter. Ninth grade, I made a project out of glitter. We still find golden glitter in the living room to this day. It is bad. Okay, so, all right. So the show tonight is about your favorite hero. And I have some questions that have kind of revolved around Superman as a character. And I tried to hit a bunch of different mediums. So we'll see how this goes. But to start us off, I got to ask you, why is Superman your favorite character?
Well, that goes into why I started collecting. As a kid, I got bullied a lot in school, picked on, crap kicked out of me. So I would always walk to school in the mornings, and I would purposely be late. And I would always stop at this one little gas station. And one day, I happened by the magazine aisle in there and saw some comic books on the shelf. And I picked up a Superman comic, started flipping through it, and just kind of got hooked on it. So I spent my lunch money on that and took it to school with me. And from there, it kind of steamrolled. I was like nothing but Superman comics for like the whole first year.
Wow.
Every week, I would stop in there and buy the new Superman comic book with my lunch money. And I've just been a fan of the character ever since.
Wow. So, and you just had no desire to look at any of the other ones? It was just like that one and that one alone that you were hooked on?
Yeah.
So, may I ask why just the Superman character? Did like just none of the rest of them appeal to you? Or was it just kind of like your baby, the one you started with?
Well, I had already knew who Superman was because a few years prior to that, before I got into comics, the first superhero movie I ever saw was the 1979 Christopher Reeve movie.
Oh.
So that exposed me to Superman then, and then a couple years later, I saw the comic, and that was it.
It was just like a continuation of the story you already knew.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. So speaking of the movies, and I guess all of the TV-related adaptations of Superman, which actor has been your favorite?
That's a tough one because there's been a few good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Welling comes to mind as Clark in Smallville. But he didn't really like become Superman till the very end.
But it was dramatic. Yeah.
So another one would have to be the 90s series, The New Adventures of Lois and Clark with Dean Cain.
Oh, forgot about that one. I was thinking of all the different shows, and I was like,
I totally made you watch
that was a big, as cheesy as it was, I loved it.
I think my favorite scene from that whole TV show is when they are at the barbecue in Smallville and she's looking at Clark's dad and he's at the barbecue and
Yeah.
she's like, man, that chef looks like he's a butcher. Like he's just getting ready to kill somebody. And Clark's just like, okay. And then they meet up with his mom and he's like, so Lois thinks that the barbecuer looks like a butcher. And the mom's like, oh, well, you know that's his dad, right? And she just like flushes. She's all embarrassed. I don't know why, but that's like the one scene that always resonates with me with that
obsessed
show.
with that show. Yeah. I thought that Terry Hatcher was the beginning and the ending of all that was hot. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Terry Hatcher then. Back then.
Well, and I started watching her on MacGyver when she played Penny Parker, and she was so dumb.
Really?
Yeah. So her Lois character was much better.
So tying in with both the comics and the movies, I have to ask you, which comic is your favorite?
Ooh, that's always a hard one. One of the best Superman stories I've read was it was a 6-issue miniseries called Man of Steel by John Byrne. That's got to be right up there in top 3 favorites.
Wow. No, but does that count because that's a 6-part miniseries? There's a lot.
I can't just pick one favorite comic. It's impossible.
So what would be the other 2 then? If you have like a 3 that kind of hover in the top spots.
Well, the number 1 story would have to be the Death of Superman story because those were the issues that started me, that brought me into it. And the number 2 story, that's a tough one. I got to go with Superman Lives. It was the story that it was right after a storyline called Millennial Giants, where Superman at that time in the comics was an electric Superman, where he got like new powers and a blue suit. It started in Superman issue 123. And in the Millennial Giants storyline that ended with Superman Lives, he returned to his original look.
Wow.
And plus that was the last comic that I bought for like 15 years. It was right after I got out of collecting. Yeah, I didn't start collecting again until around 2015. So I took like a 15 or 16-year break from collecting right after that.
Dang.
What made you get back into it? Did you just like find some of your old ones, or just?
Yeah. Well, right before that, I had to sell a bunch of my collection for some financial reasons, and I sold 3 long boxes full, and the only books I kept were my long box of Superman comics.
Right.
Because I couldn't sell that. And come 2015, I walked into a comic book store again, and that was it. That was
the beginning.
Caught up, and like I'm back in the game.
Did you just happen to walk past? Did you find this place and thought you would check it out? What kind of nudged you to walk back into a comic book shop?
Well, I started watching like different channels on YouTube and stuff. And this was like before I like came back to YouTube, before I started my channel. And I just saw some comic book stuff. I thought, man, it's been a long time. I think I'll check it out next time I'm in the shop. And just went in and started buying books again.
Are those pops I see behind you?
Yeah. Yep. Got like a
Superman related?
I think
a few are.
I've
got some down there on the bottom side, but on the top is like Marvel pops. But I happen to have a Superman pop right here above me.
Ooh,
that's so cute.
Dang, with the cape flowing and everything.
Yeah. This is based off one of the Jim Lee comic book covers. I want to say it was issue 203, but I can't remember for sure.
Oh, see, the only pop that I've seen that was a comic book related inspirational pose, was one of the new Flash comics. And it's when he's skidding to a stop and you see his head turned and then it's like the title in front of him. One of my friends actually has the one where it's the pop representation of that. So, but that's actually cool that they mimicked like Superman's cape like coming around the side of his head and he's on top of the building. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a whole line of those Jim Lee inspired pops. They've got a Batman, they've got a Wonder Woman. I know Sharon hates Wonder Woman for some reason, but they've got it. They've got a Catwoman, Aquaman, all that.
She's just a jerk. I'm sorry. And her outfit sucks.
Hey, but at least you liked the movie. You admitted that you liked the movie.
The movie was acceptable.
Well, the movie version, that's basically my Wonder Woman, the Gal Gadot version.
Yeah.
I've never saw an episode of the old Linda Carter show.
Oh, really? You know what? I actually watched that when I was a kid. I love Linda Carter. She's amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that version of Wonder Woman could be
acceptable. So speaking of TV shows / movies, I know I asked you favorite actor, but which movie has been your favorite? Is the original classic, or do you like some of the newer ones?
Well, the newer ones are good. I like Henry Cavill as Superman, but you can't beat Christopher Reeve in Superman 1 and 2.
Which is what you thought.
You know, but I have to give props to the new guy because he busted butt getting in
shape for that movie.
Oh my gosh. He's really worked hard to try and fill those boots.
Well, despite all the bodybuilding he did for that movie, then they just went ahead and CG'd his mustache off. I mean, he could have.
That was so bad.
Well, and the plot itself was not that good, but I really loved the love story between him and Lois. I thought that was really good. Yeah. Rather than her just being a jerk the entire time, they had a sweet love story. So.
Oh my gosh. But no, I really like the original Superman movie. I would have to say that's probably my favorite Superman movie. Yeah. Because I actually like the Lois in that version.
Margot Kidder. She was brilliant. Yeah, she was brilliant. Sassy and brilliant.
So do you have yes, okay. So here's where we get to see if the collection runs deep. Do you have any like collectibles that are Superman themed, like statues or mugs or T-shirts or looks up like he's archiving?
Yeah. I've got Superman from the Injustice game.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I have not
knocking stuff off my shelf.
I'm sorry.
Got this Superman little pewter statue.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they made stuff like that.
This it's got a little certificate of authenticity on it.
Dang.
This is number 471.
Nice. Oh.
Hey, so it's like one of the originals. I mean, 420 off of of being up there, but I mean, still an original.
That's cool.
I'm not exactly sure how many they made, but this is the only one I've ever seen. So
wow.
I know they made some with Batman too, and Marvel got in on it. They made one with Hulk.
Do you like Supergirl? Unruly wants to know.
Oh, that would be a good question.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not up on the current comics with Supergirl, but I used to love the 90s comics.
Oh.
Oh, you mean the TV show?
He's just asking.
Or just like in general, comics, movie, TV series. Yeah. I really liked her in the animated series. The young Kara was a brat, but I liked her.
I've only seen the first, like the new TV show. I've only seen the first 2 seasons, so I'm not caught up on the newest seasons yet.
Like the CW version? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, it's crap, Russ.
Yeah. The first 2 seasons were okay.
Oh,
But like, I
a
don't know.
terrible actress. Kate and I have this running joke. I don't know if you watched the big crossover that they just did.
Oh no.
What was Crisis?
Crisis.
On
Yeah.
Infinite Earths. Yep.
There is a scene where she is getting ready to like fight the bad guy, and she's flapping her
Yeah.
arms around, and then she does nothing. And
Yeah, no, it's like they're building so well, and the joke is she like puts one arm in the up in the air, and then she switches her arms because she's gaining momentum, and then she puts both out like the signature both hands Superman thing, only for someone else to steal her thunder, and she just kind of comes skidding to a stop, and nothing else, and nothing happens. Like they took like 30 seconds out of the show that they could have done an entirely different scene just to build her up speed for nothing to happen. It's like,
stinks. Who's your favorite Superman villain? Sam wants to know.
oh, that would have been another good one. I was off my game with Superman tonight, guys. This is you can tell I'm a Spider-Man fan. Okay, I mean, gosh.
It's got to be Doomsday. That's just the ultimate villain. The only one that Superman doesn't really have to hold back when he's fighting.
I would say Lex, just because their verbal banter is much more amusing.
Yeah. Well, it was on Smallville. I really love the actor that played Lex on Smallville. I think is just the ultimate version of Lex.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah. I would love to see him do Lex in the movies.
Yeah, he was really good.
That could be such a cool comeback for him, just as an actor, just to play a part that he played. Some odd.
I mean,
I think he did it.
as far as being a villain, he's smart. But I mean, if Superman really wanted to, he could just X-ray heat vision him from a couple miles away, and that would be Lex is done.
Right.
Yeah, don't have to get close and worry about kryptonite.
We gave up on the Flash too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we haven't seen this last season. Yeah, because we watched season 5. But then,
I'm probably about 3 seasons behind on all the CW shows.
We gave up. Well, we did like a half season of Legends. That was terrible. Arrow, we maybe to second season, maybe to third. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I got really excited.
The Flash crossovers. Yeah.
I got really excited when they teased the Justice Society on Legends, but then it didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
Legends was always bouncing around. They had such an influx of actors coming in and out of that show. It was crazy.
Here's a good one from Tony. Best alternate version of Superman.
I got to go with the Injustice version, the evil Superman.
I was actually going to say, because you had mentioned that he could just laser beam Lex from 30 feet away, and that'd be the end. And I was totally going to throw out there, you mean how the Injustice Superman did to all the villains in Arkham? Yeah.
I mean, it was so hardcore in that game. He took Shazam and just heat visioned him right through his head like it's nothing. Just.
Cookie wants to know if you watched any of the animated. I did, Cookie.
Yeah.
I love.
Oh yeah, no, we have the whole series.
We have the whole set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s animated Superman. I watched. I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode of that, and Justice League Unlimited, all that stuff.
Burning Block about who's 3 inches in front of me. He has a question.
I'm gonna steal the show.
It is getting close to time for your.
Well, why don't you come around and formally ask your question, and you could do burning, and then you could do fire facts.
And I can also tell you.
This is okay.
What happened
Kate's
to me.
stealing the show. I'm gonna get up. And
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I have some bad news. I kind of turned into Super Dog. So yeah, but I mean, I'm wearing a Superman shirt, so I got the theme right.
Crypto.
Crypto the Super Dog.
Yes.
Best Nickelodeon or Saturday morning cartoon show ever.
Anyway, welcome to BBA 99's Fire Facts, and I'm a dog. Number 1, SuperRus's favorite food is peanut butter M&Ms. Number 2, SuperRus's favorite color is blue. Look at my shirt. Look at it. Number 3, SuperRus's favorite animal is koala bears. And number 4, Superman was first created in 1939 in Action Comics number 1. Now it's up, and away.
So, are you still going to ask your question? Would you like to come
The
back and
Superman
ask
suit?
your question?
Do you want to?
Sure.
Well, then hustle it up.
Hustle, man.
What's the best Superman suit?
I really like the Eradicator suit from Reign of Superman, where it's just it was like all one piece with blue and black down both sides with the cape attached to the symbol. It's probably my favorite, like alternate version of the suit.
With trunks or without? Adam wants to know.
Without.
Definitely without.
Hey, I just want
About how really
Yeah.
fast.
Hey.
I am thrilled to see him back in the community and back in action after his 8 months of being gone. So it is so awesome to see you, Hydra. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Hydra.
One of the few times we can say with all confidence, Hail Hydra. There he is. So it was kind of perfect that the last question that Burning had asked was about suits, because I was actually going to ask you, how did you design your logo for your channel?
Oh, with the R.
Yeah.
Well, I was going through Google looking for different designs, and I saw just the Superman symbol, the logo, with nothing in it.
Wow.
I'm gonna put an R in that. So I just took it to the Pixar apps that I use, and I just threw an R in it.
So now, did you have it actually printed onto a T-shirt, or was it just kind of like a Photoshop onto a picture of yourself?
I actually have that shirt. I had a friend make it for me.
Oh,
I sent her
wow.
a picture of the logo, and she just threw it on a T-shirt for me.
Oh, that's gonna be so much
Yeah.
fun. How come you didn't sell shirts? Well, you didn't
I've
get
thought about it.
SuperRus shirts after.
I've thought about doing that. Maybe doing some merch for the channel once I get a little bit bigger.
Awesome.
I call dibs.
Yeah.
Roger wants to know what your opinion is. If Superman lost his powers, would you still consider him a hero?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I mean, there's been multiple storylines where he's lost his powers in the comics, and he's still never stopped being who he was.
Right. The chat has like stolen my questions tonight. I'm getting burned by the chat tonight.
Rocking it. Good time. 'Cause everybody loves fun.
Okay, I actually do have a good question for you that nobody has danced around yet. How do I phrase this? Okay, I was gonna say I was just trying to figure out how to phrase this. What comic and/or /TV show /movie would you want to see in the future with Superman in it? Like, is there like a storyline that they never touched on? Is there like an alternative ending that you would have wanted to see? Is there like a comic that you want to see happen that has never been done?
I would love to see a comic book accurate trilogy of the death, the reign, and the return of Superman on the big screen. That would be fantastic to me.
Well, because they've done like skirts around it, like in the new Justice League movies. You know, he died, and then they brought him back. And
Hashtag not my doomsday.
Oh no! He turned into Doomsday. He was evil for a good
but it was
that.
Zod though. That's not. And the design of that Doomsday was just, man, how hard is it to take the comic book version and just put it on the big screen? Just
even in the animated series version was better.
Yeah.
Batman is never overrated, Jake. Shame on you.
Jake, you're the Batman Robin fan. What's wrong with you?
All right, so Jake would like to know what you think about the Batman Superman rivalry.
In the movie?
Overrated.
Or in general, I guess, because I mean they actually did a movie with them having a rivalry too.
It was all settled because their moms had the same name. So
Martha.
Just the hashtag relatable. We're best
Yeah.
friends now.
Oh my gosh, Drew. Would it have Nicolas Cage in it?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh no.
Might as well just throw Samuel Jackson in there and then
Well,
make it all better.
Are you a Batman fan at all?
yes, big time.
Ooh.
I mean, you did have that awesome Batman shirt.
Yeah. My love for Batman actually started with the Michael Keaton movie. That was the first. I was like 9 when that came out, and that was the first exposure to Batman.
Which one is the Michael Keaton one?
The very first one that didn't suck.
Ah, okay, the one you showed me.
It was,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. It was the one where Jack Nicholson played the Joker.
Although Vicky Vale was annoying. But other than that,
But that's
slightly
that's
annoying.
still to this day. That's like my favorite version of the Batman suit in Batmobile. It was from that movie.
you know, and Michael Keaton rocked it. He really
Yeah.
did.
I think that's about the end of that. So
All right. Do you guys have any other questions in the chat?
yeah, I was gonna say just like interesting stories that have happened to you. You know, was there something weird that ever happened, like when you were getting a collectible or reading a comic or going to go see a new movie, like just anything weird?
No, not really. Can't really think of anything too crazy.
So when you saw the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton, you said you were 9?
Yeah.
So when the next one came out with Michelle Pfeiffer, I don't know how many years there were in between there, but
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I think Michelle Pfeiffer kind of goes down in history as the ultimate Catwoman.
Best Catwoman.
Yeah, did you see that in the theaters?
No, I actually saw that on DVD later, or well, VHS back then.
It was
Jeez.
VHS back then. Don't
We saw VHS. Yeah, we still have them. Yeah.
Cookie would like to know.
Oh,
what
what
is
is your favorite
comic
comic?
of Superman you own?
Oh wow, trying to pick a favorite out of all the Superman books is hard.
Well, I know you said you liked the parts 1 through 6.
Yeah, the John Byrne Man of Steel
Yep.
and the Death of Superman and the Superman Lives were all really good.
I don't think that's a question anybody wants to answer. If William Shatner could be Superman, that's a question
I don't know if Shatner could pull that off at this point.
Oh, maybe not now.
Could pull anything off.
It he like 95 or something now.
He's 80 something. He's actually going through like his 5th divorce right now. I don't know. Yeah.
God.
Dude. Yeah. So, what do you see for the future of your channel?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'm hoping to hit that 1,000 sub mark.
That'd be amazing.
And then start merch for your channel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's a big goal.
You don't send her the first shirt. She's gonna seriously.
I want well, because I mean I know it's supposed to be for Russ, but my name is Rena. I mean, come on. That's just begging to work so well.
And art can be a lot of things.
Yeah, we were on the phone earlier, and I don't even know where you put it, but she was drawing a sketch of your.
Oh, it's there.
Uh-huh.
Although I did the S, not the R.
But she was a little bit excited to have you on tonight.
Oh, awesome.
I just kind of doodled it because I'm usually terrible at drawing the Superman symbol, and I was like, hey, this didn't actually turn out bad.
Man, I can't draw.
I could not do Lamer Frame.
Oh,
I give you so much credit for doing that show.
Wow, you guys are
awesome. Ooh.
All right, what about everybody's favorite version of Superman, like an alternative Elseworlds?
I really liked the Smallville initial Clark.
You just thought he was hot.
And Tom Welling.
Hey,
Hey, especially when he aged, he didn't turn out half bad. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Darren thinks that William Shatner is 804. Yeah. That's amazing. So if you hit that 1,000 mark, will you make your channel exclusively about Superman, or what do you think where's your ship headed?
Well, I'll probably just stick with the like comics and collectibles, pop, statues. I don't think I'll really change anything about the channel.
Right on. Very nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you have any plans as far as what you want to do after you hit 1,000?
Start making that sweet YouTube money. That those 25-cent checks are going to start rolling in.
I have heard that there is some big money
You know,
in that.
even if it's 25 cents, though, that's just got to be satisfying
Yeah.
knowing that you're making something back for the content that you put out.
It would be
You
nice
know,
to have YouTube funding my comic book addiction. You get that YouTube check and start buying slabs.
there you go. It's just where all that comes. Well, it'd be the perfect circle too, because if you use that money exclusively toward comics, that just betters the videos,
Yeah.
which betters the subscriber count, which then makes more money until you know you're a millionaire like Markiplier or Dan TDM.
Well,
Or,
yeah, and then you're going to have
Mr.
to go out on
Beast.
tour and wear your SuperRus shirt.
Mhm.
And, you know, yeah, I see that for you.
I don't know if I'll ever get to the millionaire level.
So, if you did go on tour, where would a dream location be for you?
Ooh, that's a good
Oh
one.
wow! I've always wanted to visit Ireland. I've always wanted to
Oh,
go back to Ireland.
absolutely. Ireland would be amazing.
Ireland would be really pretty.
Yeah. Why specifically there?
Well, my family, my roots are Irish.
Oh,
And I did some research and study on it, and I actually found out that my family, my ancestors, got kicked out of Ireland for rebelling against their government over there.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So yeah, I don't know if
there
they'll
you
let us back in or not.
Now, Drew said same here. Does that mean that your ancestors got booted or that you have Irish ancestors, Drew?
You got kicked out too, man.
Well, hey, at least that means that you know the ancestors were willing to fight for what they
Yeah.
believed in. It was a strong rebellious cause that
Yeah.
they got kicked out for.
So does that mean
Hopefully
you
they'll
have like
let
a
us
cool
back in. I
family
don't know.
crest? Does it have an R in it?
That would be awesome, but I don't think so.
Well, we will keep our fingers crossed for that eventuality.
Absolutely. I think we're gonna end it there. We're running just a little bit over, so we filled the time up pretty well with some sidetracks and then eventual questions. So
That was a quick
The
30
team was
minutes.
out if they got kicked out. It goes fast.
it goes fast. It's weird, and everybody who's been on the show knows this.
Especially since I never shut
Oh, stop. So thank you all so much for joining. You know, shout out to Hydra again. Good to see you. Thank you to everybody who was tailgating in the beginning. And SuperRus, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me. It was a blast.
We had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for honoring us.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to be honest. I was slightly nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a Marvel nerd. I know nothing about Superman. So I had to be prepared. But this actually turned out to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think with that, we can say that we will see you all